On Sevens Big League, we welcome you to the Western Oval, the Footscray home ground, and you see on screen the scores, 13-9-87 to 8-8-56. Footscray leading Melbourne. Melbourne came back in the third term to get within about 15 points, but then Footscray took a grip on the game. Chance for Neil Cordy to turn Melbourne away from the wing position out of side. He comes into the half-forward flank position. Cordner can't take a difficult mark. Another chance for Lovett of Melbourne. His hand pass comes away toward Healy. Healy's there taking possession now, tackled by Petraglia, picked up by Liberatore. His hand pass comes back, and now it's McGuinness going forward.
Tony McGuinness has been a great player, so has Beasley. Beasley leads out in front of Russell Richards and marks certainly within kicking distance for him. He's already kicked 5 goals. He's going for his 6th goal. Oh, it's his 6 marks, in fact. Now, he missed one from this position earlier, didn't quite make the distance. That one he's given a bit more. He's driven, he's booted to that one. That is a much better looking kick, and that's 6 goals for the game. For Simon Beasley, it's going to be tough for Melbourne now. 14-9, 93 Footscray, Melbourne 8-8-56.
Yes, the difference being 37 points in favour of Footscray, 14-9 as Peter said. And Beasley certainly got the boot behind that ball, drove it right through the goals. The game was just about shot 15 minutes into the first term, and at the 18-minute mark of the first quarter, Footscray led by 41 points without Melbourne having scored. So Melbourne did fight back well to be 31 points down at the final change, but Beasley's now increased Footscray's lead to 37 points. Turner couldn't get the tap down. It's pushed out back in this McGuinness. He can't do a great deal with it yet. Hooks it out of the pack. Wallace's left foot moves it forward to the half-forward flank. Liberatore's there. His hand pass comes out, and going forward, looked like Chiron got the ball early, and he's put it through for another goal. So Footscray will keep their final 5 chances alive by the looks of things as Chiron gets that goal for them. They increase their lead now to 43 points over Melbourne. Footscray 15-9, 99. Melbourne 8-8-56 on Sevens Big League.
And I'm sure that
2 goals in 2 minutes.
Well, that's great play. And percentage is going to count for a lot at the end of the season. And Footscray are a chance for the 5. And I'm sure Mickey Malthouse would remind the Footscray players that Collingwood were copping a hiding, of course. Fitzroy were getting beaten at three-quarter time. Collingwood were getting a hiding from Hawthorn at half-time. So I'm sure percentage is going to tell in that last home and away game. There's Purser getting the kick up towards half-forward. Cordner's got it on the left boot. He brings it down towards half-forward where Mark Kellett, who came on the ground after starting on interchange earlier in the game. There's the kick up towards half-forward. The big punch away was by Turner. Back it comes to Purser. Purser wide. McGuinness. Beautiful hand pass. Further afield to Michael Ford. Ford towards the forward pocket where the mark has been taken by Len Gandini.
He's gone for a hand pass which was intercepted. Liberatore is going to try and sneak a goal if he can pinch it. He's got it. A left foot shot. Beasley, no, it's through. Well done, little Liberatore. Oh, what a great bit of work that was. So Footscray not doing a thing wrong on Sevens Big League in the final term. We've been playing 3.5 minutes. They've kicked 3 goals in the space of that time. 16-9, 105 to 8-8-56.
And there he is, the little fella, Tony Liberatore. He's absolutely wrapped in that, and rightly so. Came across from North Melbourne. He and Angelo Petraglia. I think Liberatore won the Morris Medal for best and fairest in the thirds. Petraglia might have as well, but 2 small players, and they've been valuable players for Footscray. 16-9, plays 8-8, so they've nearly doubled their score. There's Hardy running at the football. He'll get it. A shocking hand pass, though. Goes straight to Ted Pidge, over to Greg Healy. Too slow to get rid of that. Well, Russell Richards has finally been moved to the forward line. David Williams, a hand pass back to Greg Healy. Healy towards the full forward area, and the mark has been taken by Alan Jarrett. 10 metres out from goal, directly in front.
Yes, it'd be pretty hard to miss this one. Alan Jarrett will drive the boot behind the ball, being given the line of the kick by umpire Peter Cameron. Number 47 for Melbourne, Alan Jarrett, going for his first goal. Second goal. It's on its target, and it's through, but not much response from the people out there. Peter, hardly a murmur as that ball went through for a goal. The Melbourne supporters must have lost their voice. Footscray 16-9, 105. Melbourne 9-8-62 on Sevens Big League.
And there's Mickey. He's telling his fellow coaching panel there what he wants of the players, that they've got to keep it going. Goals are precious at this stage. If they relax for one moment and let Melbourne in for a few goals and make a big difference to that percentage.
They're a happy-looking bunch. I reckon they're 10 goals down, wouldn't you, just looking at their expressions?
Never please a coach.
No, I found that out. The ball tapped down towards Alan Johnson. He can't take it as yet. Hooked out now by Sharon. In the back to Somerville, not paid. And send us back to Somerville again, will be paid. So 2 attempts for 1 free kick. Little Somerville with the ball for Footscray, still within the centre square. To be asking too much for score. Beasley leads out wide. Oh, he's smothered by players. A good mark, a well-judged mark taken by Gandini.
They put Stretch to full back. Well, Stretch has not had a good day, and they had to do something about Beasley. He was far too good for Richards. There's Stretch receiving on the left foot. Poor Tatsaris charged his way through. He only knows one way, and that's straight ahead. And he took it to the boundary line, right on the true centre wing position.
Well, Footscray have opened up their lead now, Pete, to 43 points. Not quite the biggest lead they've had today, but it's 1 point more than their quarter-time lead.
There's a kick from Wallace towards the half-forward line. Being held was Len Gandini then, and the umpire saw that.
Isn't that a bad job either?
No, so he's started off an interchange, but since he came, he's done a few very nice things. 1 or 2 bad mistakes. Alan Johnson's had a really bad day today. Saw him play a slashing game against Collingwood a couple of weeks ago. To the boundary line it goes. That guy on screen, well, not that one, that's Chris Connolly, but number 11 for Footscray, who ran it to the line then, was Tony McGuinness. He's been nearly the best man on the ground.
All day doing the ruck work, beaten by Purser. Wallace's free kick. He'll play on with a hand pass, I would think. Yep, there it goes now. Gives it to Brian Cordy, who drives in toward Petraglia, who's up in front and takes the mark. Oh, he wanted to go too, but he didn't have enough time to break away. Petraglia puts it out to the lead of Beasley. It doesn't carry, and Gandini takes the mark. Only 15 metres against Beasley there too. The umpire didn't pay it. Then Gandini going for a short pass, finding Connolly. And it was short too. It's only made about 15 metres off the boot. He's looking down to Johnson on the wing position. Maybe he'll change his mind. He's kicked it up high. Purser will get there first, or Neil Cordy. No Melbourne player got within cue of it, and Cordy plays on with a short pass to Wallace. He can keep going too if he wishes. That he'll do. The hand pass to McGuinness put him into trouble. McGuinness good enough to get out of trouble too. Shoots it back. Hand pass comes to Brian Cordy. He drives long. Beasley won't be in this contest. Up it goes, and the good mark taken by Zantuck over the back of Somerville. Zantuck looking for somewhere to go. The scoreboard showing 43 points in favour of Footscray on Sevens Big League, and the time clock coming to the 8-minute mark of the quarter. The kick was too high for Wilson. An ex-Footscray player spoiled on that occasion by Wallace, and I think the Footscray fans were pleased to see that, Pete.
Yep. Sure were. That one-eyed Footscray stand, and we're in that area. There's Gronowig, and he's the hero. Oh, well done, Beasley. Well, I don't know about that, was it?
The umpire
said it was. I thought he held his ground. I thought strength won out there, but still, the umpire said he did actually get into his back, so he was closer than me.
Good kick, good pass.
Yes, it was a good pass to Connolly. Connolly on the left foot. Back towards half-forward. Teddy Fidge flies. Cordy's been a good player, Jack. Yes. Neil Cordy, he's in great form at the moment. Over to Callett. Callett runs straight up the ground, kicks it long. Little Somerville flies, couldn't take it. There's Gronowig and De Liberatore. He gets a hand pass back to Malin. Malin will kick this high, a chance for Beasley to use his strength. Now he should get this, Beasley. No mark. Well done, Stephen. Stretch in front, grabbed off the ball. Should have been a free kick to him. There's a hand pass coming back to Gary Lyon. Lyon on the left foot will find Chris Connolly on half-back flank.
Connolly didn't know that Flower had dropped back and it was unopposed, so he just kicked hurriedly toward Wilson and Brian Cordy. Cordy's going to win out here, got a tap out, can't find a teammate. Got another one too, taken by Healy. Healy's left foot kick comes in toward the half-forward flank. Where going up was...
free kick.
Cordy couldn't take the mark, but the umpires paid the free kick to him. Neil Cordy should bring the ball into the centre.
Grabbed by the arm, Jack, as he went for that mark. He's been an excellent player as he brings it up towards centre wing. There he is, the hero of the Footscray supporters. They love him, Robert Gronowig.
How's the pass?
Oh, great kick. Oh, he's dropped it, Liberatore. He took his eyes off it, I think, Jack, as Gary Lyon off the side of the boot looking for Teddy Fidge. He overruns the football. Jarrett comes in to lend a hand. Cleverly done as he hooked it back to Fidge. Fidge a high one, a high floater. Hardy and Greg Williams.
Good mark.
Oh, good attempt to mark as we see Murray Rance off the side of the boot has put it out on the full.
When you look at some of these Melbourne players, I looked down at Teddy Fidge there before, Pete. I know he's had some injury, but he hasn't really lived up to the early promise he showed in the under-19s a couple of years back. Maybe he will improve with a bit more seasoning. Johnson with the ball, going in toward the full forward position, the sun in the eyes of the players as they contest the mark, and a good mark to Tatsaris.
That was a strong mark, and a gutsy mark.
Strong players looking for Brian Cordy too in the back pocket area. Won't quite find in the ball, will run out over the boundary line. Nearly a free kick to Flower, but I think the ball's out of bounds prior to that being awarded. Boundary throw in, 50 metres out from the Melbourne goal. Purser getting in position to do the ruck work. Good work by Wilson. The hand pass comes away to Healy, over to Richards. He'll appreciate being away from full back. The left foot shots toward goal, but way off target and only one behind. So Footscray 16-9, Melbourne 9-9. 7 goals between the teams on Sevens Big League, and we're right at the 11-minute mark of the final term.
Play on, said the umpire. Callett caught. Hand pass to Hardy. Hardy does the dummy hand pass, then goes for the long, low trajectory torpedo punt. Cordner flies and takes a good mark in front of Robert Groenewegen. But he's had his work cut out with Groenewegen today. Cordner will get the benefit of a 15-metre penalty as he brings it down towards half forward. Tatsaris outmarked on this occasion by Greg Healy. Healy will have to kick from about the 50-metre line. I doubt whether he can make the distance from there.
This is where he kicked one earlier, right off the same mark, Pete. So I'll have to give him a show. He's kicked 2 goals and one from this distance. And I know he's a little bit done a bit of work since then. He won't be as fresh as when he kicked his first goal, but he's going to go close. The distance hit the post, did it? Yes, the umpire said it just hit off that post. The other one only one behind, but he had made the distance, and the breeze did the rest, pushed it across and hit the left-hand goal post. So Melbourne now 9-10, Footscray 16-9. Hardy kicking in from full-back, well, playing on from full-back as a matter of fact. No one contesting. Wallace will drive Footscray forward after one bounce, and he lost possession. Had enough skill to get out of trouble. Brian Cordy gets a hand pass in to Petraglia. This could be a goal. 55 metres out from goal. Petraglia goes in. He's hooked it badly, hooked it viciously, really, and the breeze did the rest, as I said about the last shot by Healy, and only through for one behind, but a good kick, just hooked a bit, and the breeze did the rest of it. 16-10 to 9-10, Sevens Big League from the Western Oval.
There's the kick in from full-back by Stephen Stretch. Dean Sharon ducked back and took a good mark, and that's bad play by Melbourne because it's a 15-metre penalty. Now, the lead has been made by BC. That is a great lead and a beautiful pass by Dean Sharon. A long, low trajectory kick. Well, not so long, but it was a ripper right into the chest of Beasley. He's kicked 6, a beautiful full forwards game today. If he kicks this, 7 goals, not a bad day's work, and at the 13-minute mark of the final quarter.
And the breeze will push it slightly from left to right. So he'll aim at the left-hand post, I would think. He'd know more about this ground than me. There he's done exactly that, and it's through. So a good goal, kicked by Simon Beasley. He knew exactly what he was doing there. 7 goals to his credit. Footscray 17-10, Melbourne 9-10 on Sevens Big League.
Melbourne have got huge problems at the moment. They haven't got a full-back, they haven't got a centre-half back. And when you've got a place, they haven't really got a full forward, you're right. And I don't know whether they've got a centre-half forward. So
well, they got
I'm talking about a regular player in those positions.
Well, they haven't got a goal-to-goal line.
No, and that's half their problem. They haven't got the key players who can set them alight. Now, poor Stephen Stretch, he wouldn't have played full-back in his life, I wouldn't think. I don't think he's big enough, and I don't think he's strong enough, and yet they've got to make do with those players. At the moment, they've got Jarrett at full forward. They've tried Campbell. Williams is too small. There's the kick by Steve Wallace towards half forward. Now, Cordner is big enough to Flower. Now, Petraglia, one-handed then. Oh, there's Michael Ford over to Petraglia. Been a good player. There he is. Groenewegen over to McGuinness. McGuinness to Malin. Back to McGuinness. He's been a great player today. Now, will he look for Beasley? No. He kicks it high now. Now, Beasley ducks back. Oh, nearly took the mark, and eventually it's forced through by Gandini for a point.
Gee, the umpire gave him a bit of latitude then, McGuinness. I think he ran about 20 to 25 metres before he got boot to ball. Beasley almost took the mark, but not quite. 17-11 to 9-10. You're on Sevens Big League, and Footscray looking pretty good. To the outer side it travels. Who's going to get it away? Greg Healy? No. Connolly. Done well for Melbourne. Got the ball up high, straight to Purser though, but Purser allows Neil Cordy to fly. Comes down to Brian Cordy. He gets a funny little kick away looking for Wallace. It found Wallace. His hand pass goes back to Neil Cordy. He shoots it further downfield to Rance. Rance gives it out to Kellett. Kellett goes in toward the half-forward zone. Back to Baxter. Baxter can't get it. Robin White had it. Footscray lose it on the half-forward line. Sharon to Somerville. Nearly a free kick to Somerville. He was being held. Socket off the ground. Bounces just inside the line. And we'll see a boundary throw-in. So Footscray combining a lot. A lot of players had possession at one stage, Pete. They couldn't get past the 15-metre line.
Groningen, ruck work against All Day, has had a very ordinary day today. David All Day has been on and off the bench a few times. There's Alan Jarrett, half-forward flank, a hand pass to Russell Richards. Richards was going to hand pass. Now he kicks it long. David Williams and Hardy flies, couldn't take it. Robbie Flower, left foot, snaps at goals, gives it to Campbell in the goal square, who runs in and puts it through for the easiest of goals, but far too late. That's his first, Campbell. They move on to 10 goals, 10-70 Melbourne. Footscray 17-11, 113.
Yeah, it's a good goal there, a good piece of work. Good, see, Richards looks a better player away from fullback, doesn't he? He uses his pace and he's a bit creative. He can do a few more things, but when he was tied into fullback on Beasley, it was like a fish out of water, and he couldn't hold Beasley. He wasn't good enough in the fullback position, but he's a more creative player out on the forward line. At the centre bounce, 17-11, playing 10-10.
One player they have missed today, of course, is Danny Hughes. He adds a lot of strength. That was Lovett giving it across to Greg Healy. Healy to Williams. His pace worried Hardy early in the game. Hardy picks up, and it was out, I think, out of bounds before he actually kicked it. I think, yes, said the boundary umpire, and it'll be a throw-in.
This throw-in taking place about 65 metres out. I'll wait till the umpire gets back to his position. Yes, about 60 metres out from goal on Melbourne's half-forward zone, where Purser will do the ruck work against All Day. The ball on the turf. Purser won out. Got pushed in the back, I thought. The umpire calls play on. Little Liberatore got dragged off the ball, but the umpire said a bounce will take. That was Petraglia down there. And we'll see a bounce taking place about 55 metres out from Melbourne's goal. 17-11 to 10-10. 7-1 the difference. Favouring Footscray. Brian Cordy waits Connolly to go and get the ball. He shoots it down toward Kellett. Kellett's little kick comes round the boundary line, but straight to Richards. Oh, good mark. Taken one hand by Richards in front of a crowd of 11,924
Must
people.
have been touched off the boot, I think.
Well, it had to be, because it was a great mark. He marked it cleanly, but the umpires disallowed it.
There's Russell Richards. I don't know whether he heard the call then or not, but there was no mark. Purser out to Wallace, over to Neil Cordy, who's been an excellent player. Back to Wallace. He's been a good player too. They've had many good players. A hand pass to Robert Groningen. Beasley's led. Oh, look at the pass. Oh, beautiful pass. Well done, the big fella at centre forward, Robert Groningen. Beasley, well, it takes a good kick. He kicked one from here a moment ago. This is goal number 8 coming up. Hasn't taken as much time about this kick. Wonder if that'll affect his shot at goal. There it is, a high floater. And what's he done with this one? He's missed.
Yeah, just that breeze pushed it away off the to the right-hand side on that shot. 7 goals, 5, so 12 scoring shots to Beasley. 7-5 out of 17-12 to 10-10. 17-12 playing 10-10. The whistle sounds. It's an infringement way back up on the half back line for Melbourne, where Connolly's been awarded a free kick against some Footscray player. Might have been Liberatore. And umpire Cameron was up near the goals, but umpire Carey gave the free kick about, it would have to be 60 metres away. So the free kick going to Chris Connolly. Now Connolly looking toward All Day, who led toward the flank, but it's a little bit too short for Connolly, he thinks. So he'll go toward the half-forward zone. Richards up high, but beaten on that occasion, and a good mark taken by Rance. Murray Rance looking into the half-forward zone to Groningen, who's led. Corden is there. Groningen got in front of Groningen, who just pushed him out of the way, and he's given away the free kick.
David Cordner hasn't had a great day, David, but he is a better player in defence, I think, than on the forward line. Up they go. He's knocked down by Purser then. Brian Cordy was trying to charge through. There's Gary Lyon getting a hurry kick. towards Callett for Footscray. He can't get his boot to the ball. There's Neil Cordy heading for the boundary line, and quite happy to see that go over the line on half-back flank. We've been playing 20 minutes into this final quarter.
Yeah, there's no other place that ball was going in the mind of Neil Cordy. It was going over the boundary line. Boundary throw-in taking place 55 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Free kick will be played to Petraglia, who got the little kick away, and he was tackled too high, said umpire Peter Carey, and the free kick will go back to Petraglia, who was 50-odd metres out from the Melbourne goal. Petraglia looking up toward Groenewegen again. They've made him the focal point. Groenewegen up, didn't hold that one, got the ball moving forward, but off his boot it goes over the boundary line, and we'll see a boundary throw-in. No, a free kick against Groenewegen. I thought he may have been over the line before he kicked it, but the umpire said no.
Robin White has tried hard today towards half forward, and Jarrett. Petraglia, been a very good player. Sharon caught behind, and it comes off the hands of both he and Robin White over the line on centre wing.
Scoreboard showing Footscray 17-12, 1-1-4, Melbourne 10-10-70. So Footscray have opened up a very good lead. Wilson trying to get a hand pass away to Healy. It wasn't a hand pass, but Healy picked up the crumb all right. Got it down toward Jarrett, had the hands to it, couldn't hold it. Richards looking better, as I said, out in the forward line, going in toward goal, hooks it around, a chance for Williams. The ball running away from him. Williams giving chase, so was Ford of Footscray. Williams picked up. I thought he might have been tripped, but maybe just tripped himself. The umpire said no free kick, picked up by Lyon. Lyon goes back upfield to find a teammate in Lovett, and Lovett's at about 55 metres from goal. So it'll take a good kick. The breeze will push it from his right to left-hand side. Torpedo punt, works into the breeze, works away from goal. Hardy set himself, couldn't take the mark. The ball near the boundary line, I think that's where it may finish. It's going to be run over by Johnson. No, he kept the ball in play. This time it's Healy appealing for a free kick. Petraglia once again doing the heavy work. He does a lot of hard work down there, Petraglia. The ball hurried out of the pack, up toward Purser.
Wilson has picked it up. Robin White going in to lend a hand, but taken away by Peter Baxter. Over to McGuinness. McGuinness to back to Baxter. Baxter back to McGuinness. McGuinness crashes his way through the pack. He's had a great day of football. Beautiful pass finds Malin. Now McGuinness is leading on. A hand pass to McGuinness. That's beautiful football. He sprints away from corner. He straightens up on the left foot. It's a wobbly one though, and that deserved a goal because that was great play coming up from the wing, Tony McGuinness, and he put it through for a point.
No player in trouble down there. I'm trying to pick up just where he is. He's right down on the boundary line in the back pocket position. And the ball hurried toward the boundary line and just finished out of bounds.
I think that might have been Gary Lyon.
No, I can't quite see who he is.
He's not seriously hurt.
Can't quite see who it is down there. Pretty hard to tell. Would it be Alan Johnson? He was close to that boundary line before when there was some action down there.
It's not Lyon.
There's the ball with Purser, but the umpire said a free kick going Melbourne's way. It is Alan Johnson.
Yep.
He was on that boundary position earlier when he tried to get the ball back into play. Must have got injured in some way. The ball now up toward the half-forward zone. Baxter picks up for Footscray without seemingly any opposition. Got a hand pass to Wallace. Wallace coming out of the centre square in toward Beasley, who's led. Kick not with him, though. Chance for Somerville, who was being held. Could have been a free kick his way. Has a chance to break away now. He'll take a left foot shot or look for a teammate. Now he straightens up. Oh, funny little kick. Not a good shot at all. Out of bounds on the full. It's Alan Johnson who's being assisted from the ground down there. Peter's in the hands of two trainers. Looks like he may have received damage to the rib area.
Well, they hurt.
Or wrist. There he is now on screen. It could be a shoulder even, the way the training staff are holding that shoulder, the way he's carrying his arm.
There's a throw. Yes, that was against you, Dean Sharon. Umpire Peter Cameron had a great view of that one. Free kick to Robin White, the tough halfback for Melbourne. There he is in a lot of pain.
The shoulder,
Alan
I
Johnson.
think.
Well, that's bad luck. As we see, they can't afford to have injuries, Melbourne. And bad luck to Alan Johnson. There's Robbie Flower. McGuinness, gets it out beautifully to Brian Cordy. Over there to Purser. Purser kicked that one about 3 inches. Connolly can't kick it, even that. And players pouncing on top of the ball. It's 24.5 minutes gone. Final quarter here at the Western Oval. 17-13. Footscray, Melbourne 10-10.
Yes, the time clock approaching the 25-minute mark of the final term. Liberatore's kick goes high toward the half-forward zone. A good mark to Malin. Now he should move it downfield where Beasley's waiting for the ball, but he's gone out wide looking for Wallace. He's 50 metres out from goal. Breaks away from Lyon. His hand pass comes into Gronawegan. Gronawegan 30 metres out. Left foot snap. Not on target though. Maybe out on the full lead. He's gone close to missing everything. Only one behind.
Well, look at the grin. Good on you, Robert. But bad luck that he missed that one, because this Footscray Social Club would have erupted if he had a kick. That 17-14 plays 10-10. 7 goals for the difference, and that won't hurt their percentage, Jack. They need a bit.
Yes, they've missed some fairly easy goals too, so they could have increased their lead. We said Melbourne did fight back in the third term, but then Footscray went away from them. So Stretch kicking in from full back. Not a bad looking kick. Wobbles a bit off the boot down toward Wilson. That's a good mark to Brian Cordy. Now he's right on the point of the centre square. He's gone for a short pass, which didn't really eventuate. Free kick will be paid on that occasion Melbourne's way, and it looked like it was Batterson picking it up. He's at the half-back line, so he'll be looking for someone further afield. Richards is leading, but Batterson's gone right across the ground to Gandini, but the umpire won't permit it. He hasn't kicked over the mark or the line of the mark, and the ball will have to go back from whence it came. Footscray 17-14, 1-1-6. Melbourne 10-10, 70 points. You're on Seven's big league, and we've just gone past the 26-minute mark of the final term. Oh, we're going to mess around here all day. We might as well just get it and kick it.
Yes, well, that's what he's going to do now, as we see a booming torpedo punt from Batterston, who's tired as the game has gone on. Over the back of the pack is Greg Healy, who kicks it off the ground towards half forward. Campbell overruns the football. Now, that could have been holding the man decision to Tatsaris, who's been strong and steady. Showed a lot of courage today, a couple of times going for marks. That's
dangerous.
Ordinary play. That is bad play, in fact. Brian Cordy's got a loose man out there, and Michael Ford, the two lookalikes combining there. Ford, oh, beautiful pass to Malin. Now, can they open it up for Beasley?
Well, they're not going to him directly. They're going round by the cape to him, looking for someone else, and they found that someone else, a little Somerville. Somerville may look for Beasley now. No, he's going to have a shot at goal. No, he's in two minds as to what to do. That ball was touched off the boot, so Stretch had to play on quickly. The ball came down to Wallace. Wallace balks the opposition 50 metres out from goal. He lines up, shoots in towards Beasley on the scene. He got there late, but he got there. And Beasley took the mark and will take this shot at goal from only 15 to 20 metres out.
Well, he had his name written all over it, because it was either he or Purser who raffled that one. They were both there and far too tall, far too good for their respective opponents then, and Beasley came over the top. Now, this is goal number 8 coming up. If he can kick this one, he's already also kicked 5 points, so a great effort by the full forward. Simon Beasley slams it through. 8 goals, a top full forward display by Simon Beasley. 18-14 Footscray, Melbourne 10-10.
Yes, 1-2-2 playing 70 points, so Footscray have done something for their percentage, but it doesn't change a great deal this time of year, Peter, unless they have a real big win. Well, I suppose that's big enough. Mickey Malthouse won't be complaining about leading by 8 goals 4 as we go to the 28-minute mark of the final term. We've been playing 28 minutes anyhow, in excess of that. So Beasley's done his part today and done it well. 18-14 to 10-10. Centre bounce, umpire Peter Carey putting it down. Might be for the last time of today. Coming forward again through Neil Cordy. Footscray out towards Somerville. Somerville can't take the mark. Good mark to Zantuck. Somerville saying he had first bite at it. The umpire said no.
I think that deserved a mark anyway.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Zantuck. He's tried hard. Wilson's leading down the wing position. The kick in that direction. He won't take the mark. No, he was called leave it. Oh, Batterson got a real good hip and shoulder there. A real good one. Taken by Neil Cordy, and Batterson, that hurt. Neil Cordy with the ball in the half-back flank position. Batterson in the hands of the trainers. I don't think he's too badly hurt. Bit of wind knocked out of the sails. Gronawegan and Cordner. Cordner couldn't take the mark, but he has been paid.
He dropped it. The umpire couldn't see that properly, umpire Carey, but there's Cordy from behind. A good mark, though, to Connolly from in front of the pack. A gutsy little mark that went over to Brian Wilson, who's had a quiet day, and he got flattened by Liberatore as he kicked it, so that'll go downfield. The umpire coming in to speak to Liberatore. There's Russell Richards, who started off at full back on Simon Beasley. Richards on half forward flank, but He wants to run around and have a long shot from the 50-metre line. He brings it to the square, and it is off the pack. That's still in play, is it? Or was it a point? I think it was a point.
The umpire said it crossed the line. I think it was Flower tried to pinch it through there and have a shot to goal. He may have hooked it in. He's having a few words to say out there too, and got a few vocal players out there. But that had gone over the line before the attempt to goal. So Hardy will bring the ball back into play. Scoreboard you see in front of you, 18-14 to 10-11. Hardy playing fairly short out to Murray Rance, who takes the ball about 40 metres away from the goals. He's calling his players downfield. Hopeful for Kellett, is he? No, he's gone wider than that. He's gone right to the flank. Wallace couldn't make contact. Chance for Lovett of Melbourne. Lovett picks up. Well tackled by Petraglia, holding the ball.
Great tackle. And the little fellas have done very, very well for Footscray today, particularly Petraglia and McGuinness.
Here's another little one. Somerville waiting the crumb, but he doesn't get it. Come down to Zantuck. He got a hand pass away in the direction of Malin. Gandini after it. Can't pick it up cleanly. It's gone very close to the boundary line, but Groenewegen got a hand pass back.
Liberatore looking for Beasley. Oh, no idea. Stephen stretched in. Beasley into the open goal. That's his night. Great effort. There's the siren. What a way to end the game by Simon Beasley. Footscray have won easily in the finish. But final score 19-14, 128. Footscray to Melbourne 10-11, 71.